Good morning, everybody. Welcome to 30 Minutes with GSW, the first official meeting we are having in 2025. I'm going to be speaking on the topic, avoid distractions. Avoid distractions. This is the year of the prevailing vision. It is the year when ideas will clash and where stronger ideas fueled by the right motivation will win every argument. And I'm speaking in terms of spiritual, political, business. I'm talking careers here. I'm talking about focus on life. I'm talking about marriages, relationships. I'm talking about every aspect of life. And it is very important that if your vision will prevail, you must have a single eye. Your eyes must be single. You must understand that this is where I'm going this year, 2025. This is where I'm going. I'm going to hit my target. And everything that can constitute distraction for you as an individual and also within your social circle, you must learn how to bring them to a stop. It is important to to sit down and audit all the people around you, all the relationships you have, those who call themselves friends, those who are your acquaintances. You have to audit, okay, are they adding? Are they taking? Can I do it? Can I do without? What are my goals? What are my visions? What are my aspirations? What are the things I want to achieve? How can I get there on time? It will be wrong of you to continue the same song of lamentation you sang last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and then come into a new year and continue the same story. Hey, my father did not love me. Hey, they did not send me to school. Out of 4 children, I was the only one that got raped. No, 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 no. The victim card will not work. Victims don't have visions. Visions belong to victors. Anybody that is going to say they did me, they do me, enemy is doing me, you don't have a vision. You can't have one. It means the person doing you has a vision that is prevailing over you. That's what it simply means. Because those who have a vision and are executing it are going to be the ones saying, I did this, I did that. Those who are going to play victims are going to say, they did this to me, they did that to me. Which side of the divide do you want to be? Where do you want to stand this year? It's up to you. King David found himself in the middle of a crisis, right in the middle of his reign as king. He got on the throne at the age of 30. And as soon as he got on the throne, he got on the throne with 2 wives, and then he married 2 more. He inherited concubines from Saul, those whom Saul married when he was king, who the king of Israel has the moral right to continue to take care of because they don't allow the concubines of kings to marry other people, because concubines of kings are secret custodians. You can never tell what a king told a woman he has laid on the same bed with. You can never tell what a king told that woman. And so, once a king has married or slept with anyone, to allow that person to then have access to anyone outside of the royal court as wife or as girlfriend is dangerous, because you never know the things that the king revealed to her. And women hold such power over men that men can virtually tell them the things they are not supposed to say, even in their sleep. So therefore, it was a rule of the tomb that you must keep all the women that has laid with a king, that has ever shared the same bed with a king within the royal circle. You must not allow them to fall into the hand of any commoner or anybody that is just ambitious in life. So King David had 10 concubines that he inherited from Saul. And so you cannot count these concubines as his wives, but you can also count them as his wives, for he is responsible for them, and he ensures that they are given the right treatment, but he would not allow them to be married out to somebody else. As in all this, David saw a lady during the time of war called Bathsheba. And the Bible said, because David didn't go to war in time of war, he had enough time to see something that he shouldn't have seen. He got himself into a mess, selected Bathsheba. I now wanted to return Bathsheba to her husband, but Bathsheba was smart about it, and Uriah was also smart about it. Everybody played their game the kingly way, but David had started a crisis. He had gotten distracted. He was supposed to rule over Israel. He was supposed to establish a dynasty that would last forever. But with that one act, David had practically undone years of hard work. You are here, you are listening to me. Let me tell you one thing about human nature. You do 100 years of good work and do one terrible thing for just one day, and you'll find yourself right in the middle of a mess that you'll be wondering, are these the same people that I was so good to for 100 years, who I had one sleep, and they all stood up in arms and are going to crucify me? You will be like, what? But I've been good to you guys all along. Just this one time that I did something wrong, you guys couldn't even give me the benefit. It is how human nature works. It is how human nature works. Carry them from destitute, from beggars, from debtors, carry them from gutters, carry them from the dungeon, carry them on your shoulder, take them into freedom, give them palaces, give them homes, give them jobs, give them relevance. Oh, let them hear one thing. Uh, Even if it's not done to them direct, it's as if human nature is poised to look for scandal and then to ride on it. But you will say to yourself, hey, this is a new year. This is a new year. I would not allow the stink of the past to disturb the fragrance of my future. You are going to walk away from that thing. You are going to walk away from it deliberately. Anybody that stays with the stink, that is their business. You are moving on to fragrance. And David told himself that I've messed up. I've done everything I'm not supposed to do here. I've done everything I'm not supposed to do here. Now, typically, you would expect him to then call a national assembly, the way some church leaders we know in recent times, I don't want to mention any name, but some of them, they would call church, they will not stand on the pulpit, they will say, I'm very sorry, I did something with my secretary. And people say, oh, that's accountability. That is not accountability. You have accountability to God. They didn't call you. They were not there. You see, they were never there at the beginning. The day God called Moses, God and Moses stood alone. Moses was never accountable to the children of Israel ever in his life. He was accountable to God. That is the standard. Jesus was accountable to God, not to people, because they were not there. They didn't sign the deed of agreement. They came along for the ride. They came. It was the going that was good that drew them to him. If the going had been bad, they would never follow him in the first place. They came for the ride. And if they came for the ride, they can disembark at any time, at will. But you cannot break a covenant you never initiated. You cannot break a covenant you never initiated, which was why David said, God, unto you alone have I fallen. Unto you alone have I done this. I give up my two hands. I'm accountable to you. You see, David understood that if he would stand with God, if he would dare to stand with God, what is a cloud? It is a cloud. What are they? It was only for the good time that they gather. If his kingdom had been bad, they would have murdered him. He understood people. And he understood that there was no way one man could convince a nation except God is with the one man. You see? So when God was with Samuel, Samuel had the reputation to make David king. But when God was no longer with Eli, there was nothing anybody could say. There was nothing. The Ark of Covenant rejected him and his children. It is God that you have a dealing with. As you enter 2025, that is your focus. What is the vision God has given unto me? How do I accomplish it? Forget not, remember not the former things, let them go. Oh, this, in my former office, I had this thing, in my former, all those stories that you used to tell. Enough. Enough. It is time to write a new chapter. It is time to write a new chapter. As usual, because David was the one with the vision and he had stumbled. When the punishment would come, the punishment came to the household of David. Suddenly, David's son, Absalom, decided he wanted to become king. But you cannot become king without doing some politicking. So Absalom went to meet some of David's men and he began to whisper in their ears. See, every time there is a whisper, it is a voice of distraction. A bold person will speak boldly. That is the truth. Let me say it again so you understand me. You are working in an office and then somebody comes to your office and he begins to talk about somebody. Or you are working in an organization and somebody comes to you and begins to talk about somebody. And that kind of talk is kind of talk that when somebody is walking by, both of you have to keep quiet. The person is talking. When another person, both of you have to keep quiet. It is not the kind of talk that you can say so that others can hear. Then surely the person that brought the information has come to distract you. There is nothing good to come out of that conversation. Never. I've never seen where two gossips made anything good out of their broths. There are primary and fundamental distractors that their primary duty is to tear apart and separate and mislead and misguide like the voice of the serpent. It is a distraction. You have no business with whispers. That is the truth. In the year 2024, I told myself that there are certain things I told myself some years ago. I said, if I know anybody, for example, I know Pastor David, I've known him all my life. There is nothing anybody can tell you about him. Nothing that can change what I know about him. See, it's how I am. If you come with 1 million stories, what I mean. What I know is what I know. I will not know him from your perspective. I will only know a person from my own perspective. So I don't care about your perspective. So everybody can have different opinion about a person. My own opinion about the person is the one opinion that matters. And I do not care about other people's opinion. That's how I think. So I wake up every day. How I know is how I know you. If you behave in a way that I have to adjust and reassess how I know you. I do it on my own personal terms, but nobody will come. I do not give room to it. Why? Because I noticed that when Absalom was going to take down David, it began with whispers. And suddenly, David's men that had been with him for years, some of them with legal reasons, because of the way he treated Uriah. So he had already, in their hearts, that was the way all of them were bounded together, and how all of them had moved together from the beginning. So he betrayed the trust of his men by killing Uriah and taking Bathsheba. We cannot remove that. Because of that, some of his men were aggrieved. They were like, how can the king do this? How can the king do this? Oh, how can the king do this? And some will be more aggrieved than others. Some will say, the king has done it. I should support the king. And some will say, the king has done it. Maybe he can do the same to me. Let me walk away. And some will say, oh, the king has done this thing. No. This king has really ruined everything. He has destroyed this. So a lot of people will have different opinions based on how they know the king. But it's not actionable until somebody then gives them the encouragement. Let us tear down. Let us bring down the king. And so one day David woke up and he was no longer king. Absalom had initiated a perfect coup. He had taken the throne while the king was still in the palace. You won't believe it. He took the throne in public and his father was still in the palace. And the father ran from the palace. The father said, based on the number of people that are with him, he has majority. He has the young men. He has the soldier. He has the voice of the people. His next move will be to kill me. Then the father packed his bag, gathered the rest of his faithful men, and they ran from the palace. You see, so Absalom became a king without the backing of God. He became a king with the backing of the people. David, who was the choice of God, fled from the palace because the people now supported Absalom. But don't forget that the people never made David king. David was chosen as king long before the people knew him. 1 Samuel chapter 16, the Bible said that Samuel went to the household of Jesse and said, nobody will sit till they bring the 8th son. And when they brought in the 8th son, he anointed him in presence of his brethren in secret. And so we know that David was made king while the people did not even know they had a king. They all knew King Saul as their king. They had no idea that David had become their king in secret. Therefore, David was God's choice. There was nothing to do about it. But now the people have decided, we have chosen Absalom, and David had to flee. And in that instance, the loyalty of all of David's men became tested. I remember some years ago, one of the Nigerian parliamentary meetings, somebody asked the former Lagos State governor a question about the current president of Nigeria. And the reply he gave to that question resonated with me. He said, may our loyalty not be tested. May our loyalty not be tested. In this case, the loyalty of David's men became tested. Who would go with the king and who would go with the new king? Because now you can no longer sit on the fence. It is either you go with the king or you don't go with the king. You can't say I'm neutral. When Roya died, everybody kept quiet, but some of them are thinking in their hearts, I don't want to serve this king, but they don't have another option. So they were still following him, but they had grudges in their hearts. They had grudges in their heart. Like, we have to go and see the king. I hate him now, but I have to go because if I don't go, well, who else will I serve? That is, I'll just do my duty. But the moment they now had 2 kings, you must pick a side. Now, the problem with picking a side is you are going to be betting a lot, taking a risk. If you should choose the wrong side, you are done for. It has to be right, because in the battle for dominion, the prevailing vision will win. No two visions will share the throne, and no two kings will sit on the same throne. One has to go. So if you choose Absalom, it means you have bettered your life. I'm going with Absalom because I know he will win. And therefore, you have chosen by yourself to say David must die. And if you go to David, you have chosen by yourself to say Absalom must die. Both of them can be king at the same time. Well, you have taken sides with the one you thought or you believe should win. It doesn't matter whether the person you choose to win is right or wrong. It's not a right or wrong issue. It's a question of moral dilemma. Who do you support? The 55-year-old king who has done something wrong, or the 35-year-old new king who has won the heart of the people? Who would you go with? The voice of the people or the voice of God? Who are those that are caught in that net? Some of you remember clearly, Ahithophel, as wise as he was, he chose Absalom. Ahithophel. Ahithophel chose Absalom. Very wise man. The Bible said that when he speaks as if it's an oracle of God. Ahithophel chose Absalom. He knew that if he could guide Absalom, Absalom would be established as king, and he would be a kingmaker. He was quite an ambitious man, but he chose wrong. He chose wrong. As a result, he took his own life. He knew that it was a one-time bet, and if he should lose out, there is no coming back. And I speak with you this morning, speaking to you about 2025, speaking to you about avoiding distraction, ensuring that your vision prevails. In the battle for the supremacy of visions, you must be flint-eyed, eagle-eyed. You must learn to do away with side thought. People that will take your eyes away from your goal. Friends who would like to just come into your space to just be gisting, watching, wasting your time, chatting with you on matters that does not take you to your goal. Some of you think it is what do we call it? It is a banter. It is just well, I'm just entertaining myself. You don't be foolish. It's true. I don't think I've have anybody that I gist with or gossip with or be chatting with each other, that I've just be talking about nonsense topic. Why? Why would I give anybody that kind of access to me? Who are you? Who is your father? No, 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 no. And you should, because that is the key. Even when Absalom had won the heart of the people with rumors and all forms of innuendo, see how quickly the people turned back to David after Absalom died. That is how you will know that people are never loyal to anybody but themselves. They were just looking at David's life as a social media entertainment. Yeah, the king is off the throne. Hey, something exciting is happening. Something exciting is happening. The king has left the throne. Oh, awesome, awesome. The king is back. Glory. Oh, Absalom is now king. Wow. It was all entertainment to them. The people were not invested in the throne. They just wanted to have a king. And when they saw that something is happening, they were excited. They were telling each other something new. People like to something new, have this. Oh, when we have blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, those who are gisting are not the movers and shakers of reality. The movers and shakers of reality are the ones that are vying for the throne. All the others were just spectators. They were just getting entertained. You must understand. You are going to make waves in this life. It is a sure thing. But a man and woman who will make waves in this life is a man and woman who would not be distracted, who knows that one of the consequences of greatness is being talked about. It is what comes with it. You may not want it, but if you are going to be great, you are going to be the topic of many households. That is the truth. There's nothing you can do to stop that. For if the Lord has placed you in the spotlight, then men must watch you. They must. And if they must watch you, they must talk about you. And so you would not allow their talk, either their praise or their insult, to matter. It wouldn't matter. You keep your focus. Their son, their daughter, brothers, sisters, grandmas, grandpas, on this call, keep your eyes on the goal. This year, a lot of visions will prevail. So it is seeding of vision. That is a 10-year vision, 5-year vision. This year we are planting the seed of them, short term, long term. And you must keep your eyes on the goal. You must. You will never see a newspaper called rumor. Because rumors are distractions. People can have a grapevine, but we always hear news. You see, because news is about actual fact. Every other thing is about conjectures and speculations and doesn't matter. You are the news. And so you keep your eyes on it. You focus on it. This year, it doesn't matter. What matters is that which the Lord has told you to do, you achieve it. Say, oh, there's no money. That's not true. There is money. Every vision comes with its own finances. Oh, there is no, everything you need, you have. I am saying this with all my heart. But the one thing that God has never given any man with vision, the one thing God will never give you is positive reviews from people. No, that belongs to men. So if you are somebody that is very, very, that needs to feed on public validation, you are going to fail bigly. In the ministry of Jesus, several times people came to him. They will call him good, they will reject it. They wanted to make him king, he rejected it. He understood people. The Bible said he didn't need to be told what man was. He knew man. So anybody that is waiting for people to clap, people to cheer them, you will not get anywhere. I say it with all authority, and I've been in the public eye for some years. Your focus is all that matters. What did God say I should do? Am I on my way to it? Am I running with the vision? That is how the vision will prevail. That is the only way. So you avoid distractions. Avoid it totally. If you have a friend that all you do together is this is the year to cut off that ties. I mean it. Found myself surrounded by some people one day I stood by myself, why am I in the midst of this kind of babblers? Just block all of them. I mean it. I don't want people like this around me. Please. What is the point? You are going to waste my 24 hours from nothing to nothing, talking about nothing. Who are you? And why should I give you that kind of time? Why? Why should I give you that kind of attention? No, you don't deserve it. For you are not running with a vision. You are running a sideways ministry. But my life is upward and forward only. I can only go with the course of the wind that carries me. I can only mount the eagle that carries me in the direction that God has pointed me. I cannot go sideways. I go upward. I go forward only. That is my trajectory. And that is how you must see this. I pray for you today that your vision will prevail. That you would not allow distractions of any kind to cause your feet to wobble or stumble. I declare that this year, the Lord will establish you firmly. that beyond your wildest dream, you will fulfill the word of God for your life. I declare that it is well with you, that you will have a rewarding, healthy, and beautiful year. Thank you, Father, for your word is faithful, and your children are fulfilling their goals and prevailing in every way in 2025. Blessed be your holy name. For in Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. Let somebody shout, glory.
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 Glory.